Okay, everybody, welcome. This is Ellen Winn's Team Zoom, and my name is Harlequin Murray, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Miss Ellen Winn. And to give you a little bit of her background, she grew up on her family farm just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. She was a corporate trainer and operations director for Domino's Pizza. In 1997, she left her corporate job to open up her own restaurant brand, and she's been a business owner ever since. When I initially met her, she was the national training director for a network marketing company and a partner in a huge training center here in Atlanta. So it's obvious Ellen loves training and helping people. She is DAC's first and only area director at this time. And she also is the first agent to ever be nominated and won Agent of the Month 3 times in a row, or well, not in a row, but 3 times. And she is actually the current Agent of the Month for David Allen Capital. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Miss Ellen Winn. Go ahead and take it away, girl.
Awesome. Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that. Always give me a moment to sit back and see who is in the room here with us as folks are continuing to join. So I know you'll take over that of admitting folks, but thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. I greatly missed you last week when you were traveling. I'm glad you got to take some time away and go see your friends and your school family from Rutgers. So that was a well-deserved trip, but you were definitely missed on our Zoom. Harlequin has also been Agent of the Month in the past, and she has been my partner and sidekick in this Agent Zoom, or Team Zoom, that we do every single week from day one. Actually, she was part of me getting this started. She encouraged that I do this along with a couple other people on her team. We were talking about it, and I really had to do some soul searching to determine if I was ready to make that commitment. Because when you put yourself out there with a group of people and you tell them you're going to do something, I believe that you should follow through with that. So committing to do this every single week was a big leap for me, but it was definitely well worth it. I enjoy getting to do these calls with you guys every week. I get to see some of you on video that I've talked to many times on the phone, or I get that first introduction face-to-face through our video chats here on Zoom. So glad that you're here tonight. If you're new and this is your first one, welcome to the team. If you've been here many times before, thanks for continuing to show up and for having that dedication in your business. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through a few things that David talked about today, and we're going to reiterate and put a different slant on some of the conversation that we shared today. But I wanted to do what I always do, and that is to get us kicked off in screen share mode and do some team recognition. And let's see, I have Harlequin, give me a thumbs up if you see the screen. Looks good. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I do this every single week, and right now we're recognizing recruiters. We have a fourth quarter promotion going on top recruiters. So for the week of October the 7th through October the 13th, our top recruiters are on the leaderboard. In first place, we had Eric Johnson with 11 new recruits. Way to go, Eric, just knocking it out of the park. In second place, we had Michael Edmondson with 8 new recruits. Way to go, Michael. 8 is a strong performance there. Laurel Smith in third place with 7 new recruits. Congratulations, Elle. Way to go with your recruiting numbers there. I came in fourth place. I usually change my name, Ellen Winn. I operate under Prime Choice Partners, LLC, with my business here at David Allen Capital. I came in fourth place with 4 new recruits for the week. And in fifth place, we had a 3-way tie with Gregory Stevens, Chris Bartalis, and Chriselle Lovelady, all having 2 new recruits each. So congratulations to you that made it on the left side of the leaderboard. On the right side here, we have everyone who had 1 new recruit for the week. We had Katina Willis, Keith Wellington, Catherine Sprinkle, Kevin Melott, Anthony Kentz, Fred Johnson, Stephanie Grayson, Cheryl, JC Evans, Marilee and John Ernestberg, Mary Lynn Dunn, Michael Dew, Eugene Clapp, and Antoine Abney. So congratulations to you guys for getting one new recruit each. Now, if your name's not on the leaderboard, but you're having conversations with people about the agent opportunity, or you're sharing your link with people about the agent opportunity, it's just a matter of time before you too will be on the leaderboard. But most importantly, hopefully you're sharing the conversation about our services and the opportunity that we have to help business owners get funding that they can't get from a bank and save tremendously on other services that we offer through our portfolio of products. And as Harlequin said, I have the proud honor of being recognized as Agent of the Month for the month of October. Yeah, this is my third go at it. And there's really quite an honor to be asked again to be Agent of the Month. I'll be doing an interview with David Rutz, our company founder, on Friday. So mark your calendar. If you can be there live, I would appreciate your live support. Nothing like having your own team on the Zoom as we're doing that agent interview at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time at daczoom.com. That's the corporate Zoom channel. David and I will be having an open and honest conversation about some of the things that I do to build a team without having an active upline or an active sponsor or enroller. So make sure you tune in for that, and I'll send out reminders. But thank you for that. I'm only Agent of the Month because of you guys. If I didn't have a team that was willing to follow and willing to work with me and being coachable, there wouldn't be an Agent of the Month opportunity for me. And Harlequin also mentioned that I'm the first and only area director or AD in the compensation plan. And that wouldn't happen without you guys, right? You cannot get to that level in the company without a team that is producing. So as I always say in my welcome email, you guys are part of one of the fastest growing teams inside of DAC. And I congratulate you all that are having success and moving forward with your business. All right, so let's talk about the fourth quarter recruiting incentive that's going on right now. So everybody that was on the leaderboard is really taking a long, hard leap into this promotion, taking advantage of it. Many of those on the leaderboard are already engaged according to the comp plan, but some on the leaderboard aren't engaged. But I've had a couple of people that weren't actually engaged according to the comp plan, but because of this new incentive, they earned a matching bonus on new agents they recruited. So what is the fourth quarter recruiting incentive? Well, that means that you are automatically engaged on new agents that you recruit during the months of October, November, and December, which is the fourth quarter of the year, right? Who have a funding in their first 30 days. So let's take a look at this. You recruit someone during the month of October, they have a new funding in their first 30 days. You're eligible for your engaged bonuses on every funding that they have in their first 30 days, whether you're engaged according to the comp plan or not. So basically, this incentive is really there to help boost your income if you're not engaged according to the comp plan or amped up. And if you're amped up, you're automatically engaged. Okay. And I know if you're new, you're going, oh gosh, this terminology just drives me crazy. So let's go through what engaged is. It's right here in front of you in the screen. Okay. There are three ways according to the compensation plan that one of three things you have to do to be engaged. Okay. One, if you're brand new and you're in your first 60 days as a new agent with DAC, you're automatically engaged. We give you a 60-day grace period that you're considered engaged from the day you get started, your first 60 days, okay? Second, you either, after your first 60 days, you're going to have a new or a renewal funding in the last 60 days. So you got to get clients. This is a performance-based compensation plan. David says that in the presentation. I talk about it every single week. If you're not producing and performing and bringing clients to the table, you're not going to make money here. That's the only way we get paid is off of the clients that we bring to the table. So second way, you've got to have a funded client in the past 60 days. That makes you engaged. Or if you're not marketing our funding program, you can work towards getting customer finance clients. Our customer finance platform is a phenomenal service. You can have 6 active customer finance clients, and as long as you have 6 active clients on the books every month, you're automatically engaged there. So one of 3 ways according to the comp plan, but whether you meet any of these requirements or not right now because of this 4th quarter promotion, you're auto engaged either way. Okay, so let's talk about what being engaged does for you and how that's going to pay you. Okay, so being engaged and being able to earn matching bonuses or matching enroller bonuses, this is where it's specifically going to help. And that's only if you're building a team, right? If you're in this and you're not going to recruit a team, then this won't apply to you. You won't be eligible to earn these bonuses. But if you've decided that you really like DAC and you think this is a great opportunity to share with other people, and you do want to build a team and you start sharing your link about the agent opportunity, then let's show you how that enroller bonus works. So here you are, you enroll a new agent. They sign up through your partner link, right? And let's say that they've just gotten started. They introduce a business owner to DAC funding, and that business owner gets $20,000 just because your new agent referred them over, sent them the web link. They went through, filled out the application. Our team took over. Our team did all of the work, gathering documents. Maybe your new agent had to nudge them along if they got an email that or they weren't responding to the team. But either way, your new agent gets a $20,000 client. They're brand new. They have 0 funding. So that first commission to that new agent is going to be at 3%. 3% of $20,000 funding is going to be a $600 commission to that new agent, right? All right. So if you're engaged, you as the enroller are going to earn a 25% matching bonus on the bonus that frontline agent gets. So 25% of the $600 that your new agent got, you would earn a $150 match. That's how that matching bonus works. Now, we have what we call a fast start. All right. So on top of that enroller bonus, for the first funding that your new agent gets in their first 30 days, we're actually going to double that 25% and make it 50% instead. Okay. So that's just on the first funding in their first 30 days. And you've got to be engaged to be eligible for this. But what if you're getting clients and you are amped up? You have your own personal funding clients. That means that you're going to get 100% match on that bonus. So if you help your new agent learn how to send out their link and how to get it in front of the right people, and they earn $600, you could earn $600 as well on our fast start bonus. All right. So now let's take a look at this. That new agent got their first funding. Let's say that they help a second client get $20,000. Well, now, since they got their first client, they're amped up, right? Amped up means that you've had a funded client, a new funded client in the past 30 days. So we're talking on a 30-day fast start window here. They got their first client, they're amped up. So now that $20,000 funding on a second client, instead of $600, it's going to pay $1,200 to your frontline agent. And that 25%, instead of $150, you would earn $300 because now they're amped up and they're earning double. So 25% of double also doubles your commission there. But what if you're amped up as well? Instead of earning a 25% match, you would earn a 50% match of $600 and be able to earn double commissions on the double commissions of your frontline agents. I love this compensation plan, and I can't talk about it enough and reiterate it enough with you guys to understand the power of staying amped up. I see people in the team who'll get a funded client and then they'll go 45 days before they get another funded client. And I don't know if it's because of not staying focused on getting funded clients or just not having the right people come through the system, but it really makes me sad when I see that, because once you go past that 30-day window, instead of earning 6% or more, you go back down to the standard comp plan and earn 3%, right? So if you get a funded deal and you go out 45 days or 60 days before you get another funded client because you're not focused on that, you're earning half as much as you could. So I want every one of you to flourish, and I want you all to earn the maximum income that you possibly can. See, as an AD and being amped up, which I am, I earn 8.1% off of every funded deal. So that $20,000 bonus or $20,000 funding on the screen that you're seeing, I would earn 8.1% of that instead of 6% as an AD, right? So just know there's a lot of money in this comp plan. You can get all the way up to DAC 4 and earn 7.8% without building a team whatsoever. And that's a lot of money coming off of fundings where we're helping a business owner get the money that they need and they can't get it from their bank. So today, David mentioned recruiting. And then when I had an opportunity to speak at the end of today's live leadership Zoom, I talked about recruiting busy people. And it makes me really think back on what I was always taught in this business, and that is recruit up. So there is an economic status meter here where we tend to have people that look up to us, depending where we are in that social status platform. We have people that look up to us. And if you're recruiting those, you're recruiting down. If people are looking up to you, you want to recruit people that are at your same level or at a higher level. So I always say recruit up. You want to recruit up and look for connectors. Busy people, guys, I shared today that I have had the busiest 2 months of my history. I own a limousine company here in Atlanta. I've been doing in the limousine business for over 7 years now. And I've had the busiest 2 months, I think, in my history, other than maybe when the Super Bowl was here in Atlanta in 2019. So the busiest 2 months, past 2 months, plus I've had a couple of the busiest months in my DAC business, my personal business with personal fundings. David said something the other day. I had 3 fundings and I personally earned over $15,000 on 3 fundings that I didn't do the work. I really just did the connecting. I connected the client with the right product. And we're going to talk about connecting them with the right product in just a minute, because I get a lot of questions on this. But I had the limousine business going and blowing and going. I have DAC blowing and going. And I'm also in the middle of purchasing a house, right? So my life is super busy. I'm just spinning around like this, but I'm managing to get it all done, because I find that when I'm busy, the busier I am, the more organized and the more focused I can be on completing projects. Yeah, some are going to get put to the back burner, like checking emails every day, but the things that I have to get done, I get them done. So I want you to think about who you know and go back through the memory jogger exercise for who you know that can be a great connector. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then that means that you have not gone through my fast start orientation, where I break it down to the memory jogger that takes you through every person that you possibly know, from your friends and family to business associates, local, other cities, and other countries. And it's not a matter of making that list for, you're not going to try to recruit them, and you're not necessarily going to try to tell them about DAC or try to talk to them about funding, but you need to make that list, and then we can do a strategic approach to working that list and getting the word out so that people know what you're doing and helping you launch out loud. So as we talk about recruiting up and busy people being busy, I want you to think, if you're a parent, think about all the things that go into your day as a parent, the things that you know you have to get done, right? You got to get up and take care of yourself, but you got to take care of lots of details for those little ones in your life, or you did if you're a parent and your kids have grown up, right? You've got specific things that you do every single day that are part of your routine. And that's the way that I work my business at DAC. Every day, my routine includes specific things about my business. And it's going to be different for each of you, depending on how many hours of the week you're going to put into your DAC business, what your goals are here. whether you're building a team or not, and what you see your business developing into. But I encourage you to look at your business as if it were your job. If you're working for an employer today, or you have had an employer in the past, what was it that caused you to go to work? And what was it that caused you to act and perform and do things that you were expected to do at your employer? A lot of people, I find that they do what they're expected to do. They're only going to do enough to keep the job and not get terminated. But on the other hand, that employer a lot of times is only going to pay you enough so that they keep you employed as a full-time employee, and they're not going to overpay you in the marketplace. Times are changing now because we're seeing so many people that are not wanting to work, and so many businesses are really struggling to get employers to come to work. But think about that. Think about what it is that makes you go to work today and why you do it. Because a lot of people are in a position that they're working a job that they really, really hate. But they're in this money grind where maybe you're making really good money and you're kind of trapped because you don't think there's anything else that you can do to make as good or better money somewhere else. But I assure you, the opportunity is here with DAC. You may have heard me say this. My goal is to double my income from what I'm making with my limousine business. And it's really been good to me for the past few years. So my goal is to double that with DAC. And when I hit that goal, then I'll be able to step aside a little bit from what I'm doing with my limousine business. But I've got two things that are running really well right now. So I may just continue that on and pay that house off really early, right? As I'm moving on to the next stage of my goals here. All right, so I have this photo. I pulled this up because this always is a good memory jogger for me about building your confidence. I want to talk to you about that a minute, because if you're not having conversations with people, David today said, you need to go watch your beliefs about funding, right? You need to have those core beliefs, or lean on my beliefs and lean on Harlequin, or lean on Eugene and other leaders here. JC, Sherrill Evans. JC's had like 34 or 35 funded clients. You think that she doesn't believe in what we have going here with Bank Breezy and DAC funding? Absolutely. Constance Daniels, she called me today. We had a chat about a client in the funnel. She's had several fundings as well. So the folks that are out here getting it done and are bringing clients to the table, we know what a difference we're making in those business owners' lives, right? We know the struggles that they're going through and not being able to get funded at their local bank. And when they find us and find an opportunity where we're saying yes to them, they don't have to accept the offer, but it's great that we're at least saying yes when the bank told them no. So talking about building confidence, I want you to understand the value that we bring. I want to tell you a story about building confidence. And I've got my motorcycle photo here as a memory jogger. You know, anytime we're stepping into something new, it's always, there's a fear factor there, right? A fear factor, a fear of the unknown, a fear of not being good enough, a fear of something going wrong, especially when you're talking about a motorcycle. So I have this photo here. That's a over 800-pound motorcycle. And over my years of riding bikes, I've owned 3 motorcycles. The first motorcycle that I learned to ride on was about a 500-pound motorcycle, and it was small in comparison to the one you're seeing on the screen. But I decided that I wanted a bigger bike, and I searched around the country and I found this big motorcycle, beautiful motorcycle that I wanted. It was in Richmond, Virginia. Now I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. So I found this bike online, Richmond, Virginia, did my due diligence on it, talked to the owner multiple times, followed up at the dealership, got all the records and everything. And I had cash to go buy the bike. So I took my SUV and I borrowed a motorcycle trailer from a friend, and a friend went with me. So the two of us go up pulling this trailer to go buy this motorcycle in Richmond, Virginia. I get there, it's just about dark. And the guy said, Ellen, you want to ride it before you buy it? And I said, sure. I got on the bike, and I kid you not, I started shaking like a leaf from head to toe. My body was saying, don't do this. This is not good. Don't do this. And I listened, right? It was my gut instinct, because it was just about dark. Here I am about to ride a motorcycle that I'm not familiar with. All I knew was what I had read about it and all the studies I'd looked up, but I really didn't know how it worked. And I wasn't going to ride it in the dark. So I said, I'm not comfortable riding here. And he said, well, get on back and you can ride with me. So that was my first experience of riding the motorcycle I was going to buy. But fast forward, here's where we get into building confidence. We loaded up the motorcycle, pulled it back, stayed at a hotel on the way down. Next morning, got up, finished the drive back to Atlanta. Okay. I got 10 miles away from my home, and I pulled over into this big parking lot in downtown Dallas, Georgia. I pulled over actually, in fact, in front of the restaurant that I used to own and operate, right? I pulled over and my friend said, what are you doing? And I said, we're going to unload this bike and I'm going to ride it home. And she's like, what? We're 10 miles from your house. What are you talking about? And I said, that bike scares me. And I'm afraid that if I take it home and put it in the garage, that I'll never get that motorcycle out of the garage because I'm afraid of it. So I'm going to face my fears and I'm going to ride that bike home. And she's like, oh God, you're crazy, but okay. So she helps me roll the bike off of the trailer. Again, I straddle the motorcycle. I'm shaking head to toe. I was shaking head to toe trying to get it off. And I mean, visibly shaking, right? Got on the bike, I cranked it up, closed my eyes, I said a prayer, and I started rolling forward in faith of the skills that I had been practicing, right? Riding that smaller motorcycle, and the skills that I had acquired going through motorcycle safety school, and just the belief that I knew and I had the skills in me to control this big motorcycle. So I took off, and before we knew it, I was on the road. She was following me, and I got the wind in my face, and I just took off like 70 miles an hour. And I got chewed out by the time I got home on that, because she was like, you scared me to death when you took off like that. And I'm like, I just knew I had this. I had it. Well, I tell you this story because you've got it too. You've been going through the training. You've been going through the DAC videos. You've been watching all the different videos, and you've had those training skills there. Hopefully you're repeating those and saying it out loud and going through the exercises, doing role plays, even if it's in your own head, or talking in the mirror, or picking up the phone and talking to a business owner and fumbling the conversation the first time and the second time. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. I challenge you to get your DAC bike off of the trailer and get on it, whether you're scared to death or not. I encourage you to get on the bike and ride it, because it's never going to take you where you want it to go until you start putting it in motion. So put your fears aside and do the thing that is the most uncomfortable for you, and you'll be amazed at how things will open up for you, how this business will open up for you, how this opportunity will open up for you, and the opportunities that will come towards you as you start moving forward and taking action. So I hope my story on building confidence and sharing what scared me to death can help you find your way through facing your fears of talking to people. Okay. Next thing I want to do is cover a flyer that David posted in the DAC agent Facebook group today. And this is a promotion that we have for fourth quarter only. One of our lenders, David and Wade, worked really hard on this to bring this to fruition. So we have a preferred client working capital plan, and it will be for funding from $25,000 to $600,000. Here's how it works. All right. Up to $600,000, that's the max. They're going to be eligible to get 1 to 2 times their monthly sales, which is our standard DAC funding process. We're going to be able to give them longer terms from 9 to 18 months on this funding. There's no collateral required, no application fee, and no origination fees whatsoever. They're going to be able to get same day or next day funding with this. And as you can see over here to the right, we got a preferred industry list. And this preferred industry list is the exact same list that you should be talking to every single day. Construction, including all types of construction, whether it's landscaping, contractors, plumbing, electric, retail stores that are doing daily transactions. Our lenders love a retail store that has daily sales. They're open 6 or 7 days a week, and there's daily transactions coming in. They can see what that flow of business is going to be. Okay. E-commerce, medical practices, accounting. It is not, if it's not a seasonal accounting business that just does tax preparation, accounting that works with business owners and is actually doing daily and monthly accounting and quarterly filing for them. Manufacturing and wholesale are all on those. So let me touch on this before I go to the next slide. Closing cost or origination fees, none. This is a really big deal, because if you don't realize it, every single funding that we have, let's say the business owner gets approved for $20,000, they don't net $20,000 in most cases. In most cases, there is an origination fee that gets deducted from the proceeds that that business owner gets qualified for. So they get qualified for $20,000, and if it's a $1,500 fee, then that $1,500 comes out of the 20. So the business owner would only net $18,500, right? Well, with this promotion, there's not going to be any fee. So whatever they get qualified for, they're going to receive 100% of those funds. All right. Secondly, to qualify for this preferred plan, they're going to have higher sales. It means they're going to have at least 35,000 or more a month in sales each of the last 3 months. Okay. And they have to be in business for 18 months, not our standard 6 months like we have with Bank Breezy. Their personal FICO score is going to have to be 600, not the 450 that we have for Bank Breezy, or 500 for DAC. It's going to have to be 600. And in the last 30 days, they cannot have more than 6 NSFs, or insufficient funds, and they cannot have more than 5 or more negative days in their bank account in the last 30 days. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, this is just more confusing than I know what to do with. No, it's really not. It's really simple. You want to keep doing what you're doing, which is promoting our program, and let the DAC team decipher and determine which platform they're going to qualify for. Because if you take them through David Allen Capital, our team is going to get the file, and they're going to look at it. They're going to pull the FICO, and if it doesn't hit 600, then they automatically don't qualify. But if they have a 600 FICO score and they're doing over 35 a month, then they'll look at it and say, okay, how long have they been in business? Do they qualify? If they do, then they can put them forth in this preferred plan to see what kind of offer we can get from this lender. But again, it seems like a lot, but it's not really a lot. So here's what I want to point out to you guys. And this is the most common question that I get, even from agents that have been here for a while. I think a lot of you are sending your clients to the wrong platform. And I want to go through that tonight and explain and show you what I do with all the conversations that I have. Do I send someone to Bank Breezy, or do I send them to DAC funding? So let's go over and take a look at the PDF that is available to all of you in the Agent Resource Center. All right, now I'm clicking on this. If you go to the David Allen Capital Agent Resource Center, just under the big 1, 2, 3, the required trainings that you have to go through before talking to clients, that's another thing. I see people that are having conversations with business owners that really don't have a clue what our program is all about. So if you've not gone through video 1, 2, and 3 in the Agent Resource Center, please cease and desist and quit talking to people until you know what you're talking about, right? Go through the required training. After you've done that, then under Business Capital, which is just below those big green numbers, under Business Capital, number 1, there is this side-by-side PDF document. I'm going to take you through and show you how to use this and really increase the number of approvals that you get, potentially, depending on how many people you have coming through the platform. Okay, so this is a side-by-side quick reference sheet for Bank Breezy and DAC. And I want you to think of it this way. Bank Breezy is up to 25K today, right? Up to 25K today. And that's that instant funding platform. But guys, DAC on our manual process is really getting to that point where we can do same day funding on the David Allen Capital side of the house as well, or next day, just like Bank Breezy on so many of our packages. I had a $35,000 deal funded last week. We did it in 3 hours from the time that they got the completed package where the client uploaded their 3 months bank statements, copy of a voided check, copy of their driver's license, and their completed the one-page application. From the time that they got that in and shopped it out, brought the offer back to the client, the client said, yep, looks good, signed off on it. We had him funded same day, all in a 3-hour turnaround. So our business model and our services are evolving. I need you to evolve to the next level, and I need you to become an expert on the basics of our service. You don't need to know all of the underwriting that Wade taught on a couple of weeks ago on our Friday funding call. You don't need to know all of those details. Is it good to know it? Yes, but you don't have to know it. But what's on this sheet right here, this is what you need to become an expert at. You need to memorize this, and you need to know, be able to point and guide the client down the right path. Okay, so this tells you what the funding amount and terms are, right? What if they can get funding up to 25K today through Bank Breezy. And if they go through the Bank Breezy platform, let's say that they're doing $20,000 a month and they need $30,000 in funding. If we send them to Bank Breezy, right here, it says they're going to qualify for approximately 75% of their monthly revenue. So if they are doing 20,000 and they need 30, they're only going to get an offer for about 15, right? 75%. Is this the solution that we need to send them through? No. If they need as much or more than they're doing in monthly revenue, you must send them through DAC. Now, a couple of requirements here. For them to go through the David Allen Capital business capital link on your DAC page, they need to be doing at least, according to the page, they need to be doing at least $20,000 a month. But I'm going to tell you my secret, and this is a secret that Wade will tell our producers as well. If they're doing at least 15,000 in funding, in revenue each month, not funding, in revenue each month, if they're generating 15,000 or more in sales, bring them through David Allen Capital. Do not send them to Bank Breezy. Here's why. When you send someone through Bank Breezy, that's that instant online approval, right? It's built for speed. And if you're just blanketing your link out there and you're posting it in social media or you're running ads or whatever, Bank Breezy is built to handle 1,000+ apps a day, which is about what we have coming in. They're coming in. It's all automated, so it doesn't tie up our internal funding team. So that's for that cold market people that just see your website and they go in. But when you have the conversation or the opportunity to have a conversation with someone, you need to dig in and find out a little bit more about what's going on with them. So I printed a sheet. We've been doing some a lead test program. Harlequin has been doing that. Pam has been doing that, and a few others with the company that were selected. But what I did was I created a single one-page sheet that has the same information at the top and the bottom, and I cut it in half. So when these leads come in, which I've run through all of them now, and by the way, I have not gotten a funding out of any of the leads that I bought. And I don't think that Pam or Harlequin has either. These are the test leads that we were doing with the company. But I did this because I was talking to so many people, and I have this because I have inbound calls. I market myself through, I have always got a Craigslist ad out. I have stuff on social media. I hand out my drop cards. I'm involved in my local chamber. I'm a member of the Greater Atlanta Home Builders Association. So there's a lot of opportunity for people to learn what I'm doing and reach out to me. Plus I get a lot of referrals because people know what I do, right? But I have this little sheet, and everybody that I talk to, I go through a few basic questions. I'll tell them, you know, David Allen Capital is one of the largest funding platforms in North America. We have over 17 in-house funding partners. And once we get a few documents in, we can typically get you an offer within a couple of hours and get you funded same day or next day, right? That's how quick our process works. But I also go into this. I said, now we have a couple of different funding platforms. So I need to ask you a few questions about your business to make sure that I'm directing you through the correct platform. And then I go into asking them these questions. What type of business do you have? Right? I need to make sure that it's not a nonprofit, because we can't fund nonprofits, right? I need to know that it's not an illegal business that we can't fund. So I'm going to ask them what their business industry is. How long have you been in business? Here, I'm asking this question because we have parameters. They've got to be in business at least 6 months with Bank Breezy to qualify, or on DAC side, they can be in business for 4 months. By the way, that $35,000 funding that I helped a client get last week, they'd only been in business 4 months. But he had 3 months bank statements, which is what the requirement is, right? So 4 months in business, 3 months bank statements, $35,000, all in a 3-hour window, because our DAC in-house team took the lead and ran with it. Okay. So keep asking questions. How long have you been in business? That helps me determine which platform to take them through. What's your average monthly sales revenue over the last 3 months? And then I add into that, I say over the last 3 months, out of those three, they'll tell me what their average is. And then I'll say, okay, out of the last 3 months, what's the lowest month you had? And sometimes they'll say July. And I'm like, okay, well, in July, what was the volume in that lowest month, right? That's what I'm looking for, is the number, not the month. So they'll tell me what that lowest revenue is, because that's what our lenders are going to look at. They're going to look at the lowest of the last 3 months. And that's what I need to know to determine whether I'm sending them to Bank Breezy or whether I'm sending them to DAC funding. All right. Now, once I have that answer, I'm going to ask them on this revenue they're telling me. I'm going to say, is all of this revenue getting deposited into a business checking account? Right? Got to have a business account. So clarify that. And then I'm going to ask them, well, how much is it that you're looking to get today? I'm asking basic questions versus starting out with how much they're wanting, because those others, doesn't matter how much they want. If they don't meet those other basic requirements, I can't help them, right? So now I'm like, how much are you looking to get today? And again, if they're looking for up to 75% of what their monthly revenue is, you might want to send them through Bank Breezy. But if they're looking for the same amount or more than their current monthly revenue is, you've got to send them through David Allen Capital, because they will not get that. That's the maximum offer they're going to get on Bank Breezy right here. Approval amount, approximately 75% of monthly revenue. So know your product and know your client too, by asking them some questions. And then after you do, how much are you looking for? How fast do you need the funds? Find that out, because if they're looking for funds today, I'm still going to be able to help them if I've got David Allen Capital, and I prefer to send them that way. I'll ask them, how do you use these funds? We don't need to know how they're going to use their funds, but if we know what it is and they're not taking the offer now, or they pass on it and go on to something else, I've got this as a note for my future conversations with them on what it is that they're trying to accomplish, because I'm trying to build a relationship and get to know that business owner better so that I can help determine other solutions for them. And then if they're going to do the Bank Breezy, I got to know if they're structured using an EIN number or not. They don't have to have an EIN. over here at the bottom, minimum requirements, right? Must have an EIN if they're going through Bank Breezy. If they're going through DAC, they don't have to have an EIN, all right? But again, pointing them to the right solution. Here's the thing. If you send them to Bank Breezy, again, they're only going to get about 75% of their lowest monthly revenue out of the past 3 months. Plus, Bank Breezy is one lender. We know exactly who they're getting an offer from there with Biddy Advance. Now, it's an industry leading discount, the 1.19 payback if you paid off in 30 days, or 1.29 payback if you paid off in 60 days. But I had rather take my clients through the DAC side of the house if they're doing at least 15,000, even though the application says I verify that I'm doing 20,000 or more. If they legitimately are doing at least 15, Wade and his team want to talk to them and work with them. Here's the thing. If you take them through David Allen Capital, you're potentially going to get that business owner a bigger offer than they may be asking for. And they may not realize they will qualify for that. Okay. So if you get them a bigger offer, that might open up their possibilities on doing more than they were planning on doing, because they thought that they would have a hard time getting the smaller amount. But when we present them with a bigger offer, they might go, oh yeah, I can do this and this and this if I have this. When they take that offer, you're helping them grow and expand their business. But guess what else? If you're giving them an opportunity to get a higher amount, remember, we get paid on a percentage of the funded amount. So if the client accepts a higher offer, that means that your commission is also a higher number. So think about this, learn this one page, and go back through and re-listen to what I just did, because I just took you through exactly what you need to do when you're talking to a client. But use that cheat sheet and it'll really help you there, okay? And then I think that was my last slide. Okay, so I'm going to stop the slide share and get back over here face to face with everyone. I see there's some things that have been popped in the chat there. I want to ask you this time, if you've got a question or a comment, you can raise your hand with at the bottom of the screen, there's a reactions button there where you can click on that and raise hand. I see Eugene has his hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Eugene, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Yeah, good to
Great.
see you.
Good, good. You know, I missed today's actual meeting live because I was out in the field and I was talking to business owners. And you know, my team has been they're a little jaded with me right now because I've been getting on their butts and my butt too, because we're not stepping up to the plate and doing what we need to be doing. And it's showing, you know, it's showing in the reports. And I take full responsibility for that as my team's leader. So I was out there just going at the day. I had to talk to about 75 to 100 businesses, walking, passing out drop cards and talking to them. And you know, when you say you get out of your comfort zone, I'm down here in Miami, Florida. I didn't have on a suit today. I had on a shirt, no tie and slacks, and I walked. It was hard, it was uncomfortable. See, it has to be done. And you also said something else that I'm very glad you touched on. You said that you made 15,000 more or less in 3 fundings, correct?
Correct.
And you also said it was done with very little effort on your part because we are referral agents. And I try to stress this with a lot of new people on my team. They come and they ask me, oh, well, what's the interest rate? What do I need to know about it? I'm trying to tell them sometimes the less you say, the better off it is. And I constantly say to them, we are referral agents. You go in there, your job is to meet, greet, and inform. But many people suffer from verbal vomit and they want to know everything that is going on. And if you're just getting this, you're not going to know everything that's going on. The reason that we have the links, the websites, is so you can refer people to the links on the website. Let the website tell them some things. Let the professionals tell them some things. Let's do what we do best, is go meet, greet, and inform. And you know, sometimes, Ellen, it's like pulling hen's teeth to tell somebody this And they're like, oh no, but I want to know this. I want to know everything before I go. I also had one to tell me, well, people want to see me have success before they join. I'm thinking to myself, really? A free opportunity. They want to see you have success before they join. So I told this particular agent, those are not your people. Those are not your people. If they want to see success and they have to see it first before they join a free opportunity, those are not your people. And when I watched the actual leadership meeting today, I was blown away because I saw it on recording, and what is being offered with what you just touched, that is a game changer for the last quarter. And David touched on it. The fourth quarter. The fourth quarter means it's not about being nice. It's not about being warm and fuzzy. We're in the home stretch. Either we're going to win this game or we're going to lose this game. And sometimes to win, like you said, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So what do you suggest? This is my question to you. For those agents or for those new people who just can't seem to get it, that we don't have to be experts. All we are is referral agents, and referring means to just refer, to meet, read, inform. What do you suggest that the approach I take? Because you know, sometimes our approach can be very heavy-handed. What approach do you suggest that I take to talk to these agents, let them know, listen, you are making a mountain out of a molehill. All you got to do is go out there and meet the people. Stop trying to shortcut. Stop trying to explain everything. Just meet the people and go. What do you suggest as a team leader that I do with my team?
Well, I think you just said it. I mean, you just gave that example and you just went through the exact thing that they need to be doing. So there's really nothing to address, Eugene. You just did it. But would you agree that I probably know the answer to 99% of the questions that a client would ask me? Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I would agree with it because of one reason. You have failed your way to success.
Absolutely. Well, I asked that question. Oh, you're breaking up. I'm losing some of your video.
Clients. They may have been the wrong thing, but you learn. Okay.
There we go.
I'm a little unstable right now. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm a little
Yeah,
unstable. My
it
internet
may be
is
your
unstable
video.
for some
So I
reason.
didn't hear
know why.
everything that you
We don't
said,
have
but
bad weather.
I asked that question about, would you agree that I know 99.9% of any question that a client asks me or that an agent asks me? You know, I get a lot of detailed questions from clients sometimes when I'm talking to them in the conversation, but I stay on the surface. I don't get in the weeds with the client. I never do. And Eugene is 100% correct. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. You are a referral agent. Let our system do the work. Our business presentation says, look, we have a team of experts that do that. So even when someone asks me a question that I know the answer to, I don't want to get into a long conversation with the client trying to explain something that's going to take even more of my time, because the more time I spend talking with one client, that's less conversations that I can have with other people, right? I need to go through and pique their interest, and then I'm going to sift and sort and qualify and determine whether we have a solution for them or not. And if we do, I'm going to invite them to take a look at this and give them instructions on what they need to do. So I simply go through, I talk to them maybe 2 minutes when I'm talking to someone that calls me. If it's someone that's really got a lot of questions, I may be on the phone 4 or 5 minutes, especially if it's someone that I have connected with. My question and answer with a business owner is me asking more about their business and saying, you know, I'll be talking to them and they're in construction per se. And I'll say, well, let me ask you, in your business, do you do more residential or do you do more commercial work? Why am I asking that? Well, if they're doing residential business and they are in construction, which is a high ticket item, I'm opening the door for the conversation to lead into consumer financing. Okay. They do residential. I'm going to say, great. Do you offer a way to finance your client so that you can give them what you're offering at a low affordable monthly payment? And they're going, no, I need to do that. I got three deals on the table right now that they can't afford. They're waiting on the money. Open that door, right? But I'm never the expert. I don't want to be the expert. Now, when I first started in this industry years ago, I thought I had to be the expert. And I can't tell you how many hours I spent on the phone trying to explain a business opportunity. And back then, you kind of had to. We didn't have some of the tools that
That's
we do
right.
today,
Yeah,
right? But I spent a lot of time explaining things on the phone to people that really weren't qualified. And I spent a lot of time talking and answering questions with people that were tire kickers, right? And when I look back on that, it was a learning experience, right? But when I tell you guys this from my own personal experience, I'm telling you what I know for a fact works. And I will always coach you all on what works and what doesn't work. And what Eugene is hitting on you guys thinking you got to be the expert, you're doing it wrong if you do, because what you think you may know, and Dawood brought this up on the agent call the other day. So if you haven't seen this, I'll touch on what he said. He was talking with a customer finance client because he's doing a lot in the customer finance space. He's been in payment processing. So having a conversation about customer financing is a natural conversation for him. And he's bringing clients on. And he had a client come in that he thought he knew which platform our customer finance team would recommend for that client. So he's trying to be the expert and trying to get ahead of the finance team. And when it came down to it, he said, hey, I was wrong. And our partner, Joanne, over at our customer finance team, he said, she kind of chewed me out in a nice way. Joanne is very direct, but she's all about business, right? She is on our side. She is on our team. And she's the one that you want in the foxhole with you trying to get these clients because she knows the business. But don't try to give too much detail, because when you do that, a lot of times you're giving so much detail that you're giving wrong information. And then when our team does what they do best, they're coming back and they're saying, well, that's not what the agent told me. So go ahead.
And you know what? I think the one question I get, and I have to say it over and over and over and over to agents, is, the business owner I talked to, they want to know the interest rate. What's the interest rate? I said, we don't have interest rates. I said, you don't even want to get into talking about that with people. But if you must know, it's on the printout. It's between 1.19 and 1.49. Half of the business owners are not going to know when you tell them that anyway. They're just saying that to try to throw you off to see what you got. And if you get there and start hub and saying the wrong thing, you automatically shot your credibility with this owner. Refer them to the link, refer them to the professionals who take care of it, and keep it moving. So
you know how I answered
know
that question? How I answer that question when someone says, well, what's the interest rate? And I say, well,
please tell my team how you answer that question, Ellen. Please tell them.
Yeah. When they ask me what the interest rate is, I say, well, there's a lot of variables in that, just as if you were applying for an auto loan or applying for a mortgage. There are a lot of variables. So our underwriting team is going to look at your cash flow. They're going to look at what your average daily balance is in your checking account, whether you've been bouncing checks or not. They're going to look at your credit score, but they're really more interested in your cash flow. So I don't want to give you any wrong information and set an expectation that may or may not be accurate for your particular situation. That's what I tell people.
And that's all that should be said. It shouldn't be.
I'll let the underwriters.
That's it right there. That's it.
Yep.
Let the underwriters do it. That's it. You know, I asked you that question because I already knew the answer, but I just wanted to make sure. I want to reiterate that I am saying the right things to my agents by telling them, listen, do not worry about the interest rate. Don't worry about trying to explain everything because it's ever changing. You don't know. That ain't your job. Your job is to be a referral agent. Plain and simple. And I
right.
think
And our website covers that. I mean, it tells you what the example payback is, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I just think we complicate it. And I gotta admit, you know, one thing about, I'm very candid. I was a little frustrated today. I've been a little frustrated for the past week or so because I'm looking and I'm hearing a lot of the questions that are being asked, and a lot of them are addressed in training. So when a person asks me certain questions, I have to go ahead and raise an eyebrow because most of the time, that means they didn't look at the training. If they looked at the training, they have looked at the training. And you know, hey, I'm no different than anybody else. I'll run off and think I know something. I have looked at something and then say, oh, I don't know that. Then I have to go back and look at it again. So when I speak about what I'm telling you about, I speak about myself as well. You know, because I have that hard-headed syndrome too, and it makes us soft behind sometimes. So I know from experience.
Absolutely. Well, valid comments, Eugene. I appreciate the conversation, and I'm sure that 29 people on this Zoom or 30 people on this Zoom right now benefited from that chatter back and forth. So thank you.
Keep it simple, people. Be referral agents. Stop being professional funding agents. Be referral agents. Be what you are.
That's right. But know your stuff and know which one you're going to point them to so that you take them through the right portal. All right. I've got Cherry has her hand up. I'm going to ask her to unmute. What do you have tonight, Cherry? Good to hear from you.
Hello, Ellen, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Hi, everyone. I don't know if I'm missing something. The flyer has from 25K to 600K, but then the qualifications, you said revenue must be 35K every 3 months. So could you explain what I'm missing?
Yeah, so 25K is the least that they will fund in this special program, but yeah, they have to be doing 35 each of the last 3 months to even qualify for it. But again, don't worry about all of those details. It's just an incentive, so you can use it in your marketing to say, hey, you know, go for those clients that have bigger revenue on a monthly basis and say, hey, we've got a fourth quarter promotion that might be of great benefit for you, some great rates here and funding, quick turnaround. We can get you funded same day or next day. If you're needing any working capital right now, this promotion might be a good fit for you. Also, it's a good way for you to go back and have conversations with businesses that you've already talked to go back and say, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you, see how things are going. We just announced a promotion this month. You may or may not qualify, but I wanted to see how things are going. I love that. May or may not qualify, right? But it's a good way to just reach back out. But don't get too deep in the details. Just know that they've got to go through the David Allen Capital resource page, funding page, and then our internal team will sift and sort and determine whether that's a good fit for them or not. But a great question.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you. Sure.
Yeah, thank you. All right, anybody else? Harlequin, are there comments or questions in the chat that we need to address?
Let's see. I did see one or two. I've answered a couple of them. Truce was asking about restaurants, but they're not on the special promotion. Just because restaurants are they're still struggling, so they're not a preferred industry.
Due to COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
We still got issues in some areas.
Well, that and the bigger issue for a lot of restaurants is they can't get the staff. Now,
but they're not specific on the promotion, but restaurants are a great category for us to market to because they have that regular retail sale coming in. So
yeah, they're still eligible for the regular program. Excuse me. Neil was asking.
I see he's got his hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's let Neil ask live. Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm good, Ellen. Like I said, I was going to sign up and I did. I'm here now. So anyway,
I know, I love it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I was wondering if we could get a copy of the qualifying questions that you use instead of going back and listening and copying them all down by hand.
Absolutely.
But in addition to that, I just, when this thing was starting, I was completing my order for the Bank Breezy drop cards. And then you come on and tell me we should be leading with DAC or sort of. So, I mean, I'm thinking it's still cool to lead with Bank Breezy when you're going to businesses in person and just dropping off cards, right?
Absolutely. And let me clarify that. Okay. I lead with Bank Breezy when I'm doing my marketing. Everything, if I've got a Craigslist ad out or I'm doing social media posts,
Okay.
99% of the time, you're going to see that I am leading with Bank Breezy. Okay. Because that's cold market. Where I'm moving them over to the DAC side of the house is when I have contact with that client and I'm talking to them and having the opportunity to walk through these questions. That's when I switch them from going through Bank Breezy over to my David Allen Capital business capital link. And by the way, Neil, you may not have seen it in any of my training yet. I don't use bankbreezy.com at all. I don't use our Bank Breezy website. I only use the David Allen Capital site. I use the 25K today tab of the Bank Breezy site. And I have a domain that points to that. So I use that instead of bankbreezy.com/my ID number. That way, when they're on that page, especially as I'm talking to people in different industries that might benefit from our customer finance and from our payment processing, even if they're starting out on the 25K today tab of the David Allen Capital page, which is essentially Bank Breezy, right? That's our Bank Breezy product. They're still going to be able to see customer finance. They're going to see payment processing and our business capital. I think it adds tremendous credibility to what we're doing, especially in a cold marketplace versus just the Bank Breezy website itself. Now, David and Wade will tell you they have their own different strategy. That's just my personal strategy and my personal thought process on it. And we ran across some issues where if you're trying to run ads like Google or Facebook, they do not like the link bankbreezy.com because they think that we're representing ourselves as a bank, which we are not. So I stopped using that due to the Google issues. And as I look at the big picture, I just think that that 25K today tab of the David Allen Capital site is the better presentation of our Bank Breezy product offering. So,
Oh, I don't recall seeing that in any of the trainings, but I do have a domain that I link to the Bank Breezy direct page, but I could always redirect that to the one you're saying.
yeah, that's what I would recommend is just redirect it to your 25K today tab. Just make sure you add your agent ID number to the end of that link when you.
Oh, I
when
got
you do the
that. I
redirect.
got that. That's why I
Yep.
did the link, the domain. So
Awesome.
I really liked your trainings. I really did.
Well, thank you. And the reason you haven't seen the trainings yet, I think the domain training comes on day 3 or day 4, and you just haven't gotten there yet.
No, I saw it. I just didn't catch you were doing that.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I watched it. I thought I was paying really close attention, but I didn't realize you linked it to that page.
Yeah,
instead
and
of
you
the
know,
Bank Breezy page.
yeah, you're right. And that domain training, I probably did that before we even had Bank Breezy, so I can add that to my list to update.
Okay,
So,
but thank you so much, and I appreciate everything, and I'm gonna go out there and go get them.
absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're here, Neil. I enjoyed talking with you, and glad you're on here live tonight.
Thanks a lot, Ellen.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Anybody else questions or comments before we wrap up? Is there anything else in the chat besides what we were just addressing there, Harlequin?
Yeah, couple of things that I wanted to point out. The flyer doesn't mention a couple of different things that were discussed on the Zoom earlier today. I would highly, highly recommend everybody go back and watch this morning's Zoom call because they gave some of the reasoning behind some of the different qualifications and some of the benefits. But a couple of things that are really key is if the company has another loan outstanding, they have to have at least 50% of it paid off, and they will pay off that amount as long as they still have 35% of their money left over. There's more explanation to it than that in that Zoom, but they can't have multiple loans outstanding is one of the key things. The other thing that is huge, extremely huge, is that there is no funding call or bank verification call. So whenever somebody qualify, when they get down to the very end, they're not going to be doing that. And that's where some people mess up, and it's where sometimes they end up not getting the funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, I would highly recommend doing that. And Susan Brooks just asked if they're eligible, if they're paying an SBA loan. Yes, they are. That's not, we're talking an alternative capital loan similar to ours, or a merchant cash advance that they have, but where they're doing daily or weekly paybacks, but the SBA loans are fine. But
Okay. Yeah, so Thomas, I see you've got a question about the replay today. If you'll sign up for the DAC YouTube channel, and it's dacyoutube.com, if you'll hit the subscribe button and hit the alert button on dacyoutube.com, you'll always get notification, and you'll find the replay even before it gets posted in the regular videos. You can go up and hit that little bell icon, and it'll show you notifications. It'll show you a notification the minute that video gets started streaming live, and you'll be able to find those replays a lot quicker. So that's where that is. And Harlequin, I'm going to take what you just said and tie it back to what Eugene said too. Those are the facts of that plan, right? And David and Wade, they always go into the detail explaining it, because we have agents of all different levels. We have a lot of people that are already in the funding space, and they want to know the ins and outs of that and why this is a better fit than another product that they may be offering, right? Or they're trying to decipher which funding they offer from David Allen Capital or whoever else they're with, because we've got a lot of agents that do multiple lending programs that are accountants and so on. So those are great to know if that is your profession. But remember what Eugene started with. Don't worry about getting into the details. Don't worry about getting into the weeds. Our internal team is going to decipher whether this is a good fit or not. If it is a good fit, they're going to offer that program to the client. But you don't need to know the details. You don't need to be the one asking, do you have another loan? That's just too much information. That information, that big overview, the details that we get is an only need to know if you're diving deep into it. But you don't need to get into that conversation with the client. Be the referral partner. Get them over to your David Allen Capital site. Let our internal team decide which program and which platform they're actually going to qualify for. So thank you for bringing that back up, Harlequin, because I would have forgotten to cover that. So very good. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up here? I don't see anybody else's hand up. None. Kevin is unmuted. Kevin, did you have a question or a comment? Kevin Robinson.
Just want to say thank you. Awesome training. And all the questions I had was answered. So even with this, where to find location. So I'm just excited to kind of get informed and move forward. So thank you for the training. It was excellent.
Excellent. I appreciate that, and glad you're here. Good to see you on camera too. I always appreciate it when you guys have the ability to be on video and you show your smiling faces. We love to see you. All right, guys. All right, if that's it, nobody else has questions or comments, we're going to wrap up. I will be posting this to my YouTube channel, so this replay will be available for anybody on your team, or if you want to go back and watch any segments at Neil's request, I will send out the little cheat sheet that you can print out and cut it in half like I did and get 2 for 1 on one page, so that you have the little form that I use just as a rundown, so that I never forget to ask the right questions to the client while we're on the phone. Okay. Thanks so much for being here. Please put on your calendar to be with us live on Friday for my Agent of the Month interview. If you can make it there, I'd appreciate your support. And I think that it'll be a good interview. You'll be getting some more details from me, and hopefully some more good training. Okay. Thanks everybody. I appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you helping you grow your business. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next Zoom.